Hi, I'm Deborah Meaden, investor, businesswoman and podcaster, The Big Green Money Show. I've been worried about the environment for a really long time, and my thesis at business studies was actually on the environment. So it's really not surprising that found its way into my businesses and my business investment decisions. And it is really, really important to me that a business is somewhere on that journey towards reducing its impact. That doesn't mean to say it has to be perfect, but it needs to have a vision that I want to be better, I want to reduce my impact, I want to be environmentally friendly. I mean, everybody knows, obviously, the biggest risk for any startup business is in those really early years. And that's manyfold. That's often money, cash, but it's also making sure that they don't every business makes mistakes. Make mistakes all day, every day, but making sure they're not catastrophic mistakes, because, and I've been in a lot of businesses, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned an awful lot of lessons. So I think it's really important to be able to impart some of that, to say, listen, nobody knows everything. Of course we're going to make mistakes. If we're not making mistakes, we're not trying hard enough. But let's not make the catastrophic mistakes. So I think that kind of is my role in the early days in a business. So Fussy is a Dragon's Den investment, and when Matt came into the den, he was immediately impressive himself. They presented their product really, really well. But I mean, Fussy is a product that is fundamentally built on sustainability. And that for me, obviously, it had attractions, but not every sustainable product is going to work. But what I loved is that Matt understood its place in the market, its reason to be, its place in the market, had a vision for taking over the world. And I think the thing that really, really excited me was changing the way we use deodorant. Deodorant there's a lot of plastic, there's a lot of bad stuff around deodorant, and I loved that this was a game changer. Listen, people, product, vision, a bit of a no-brainer really.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm the founder and CEO at Fussy. We're a natural refillable deodorant brand on a mission to banish single-use plastic from your bathroom. So I was really inspired to create Fussy out of frustration, if I'm honest, out of anger, which is always a good way to come up with solutions to difficult problems. So at the time I was working in advertising. I was actually working for the likes of Pantene, Gillette, Unilever, P&G brands, and I was witnessing firsthand the failure of those brands to address many of the problems that we face. Yet they have the ability to do so, but external pressures mean they can't. Shareholders, for example, I read something recently, a Unilever shareholder said, can we please stop addressing the social purpose behind Heinz mayonnaise and get back to selling it? And it's that kind of pressure that we really thought, right, we can build a company here from scratch, from grassroots, and really put our stake in the ground that we're fussy about everything and build it from the ground up, and that we were not going to have shareholders that tell us that we can't be more sustainable. So there's real anger and passion and frustration there at work. And then at home, without doing a disservice to my wife, at the time she was pregnant and she was struggling to find a natural deodorant that worked. She wanted to use a more natural product on her armpits at the time. So it was that combination of my wife looking for a product that didn't exist at the time, and me being frustrated with the companies that are out there, and we kind of put those two problems together, and here we are, a natural solution that does work. We've got 3 colour combinations with refills already inserted, and then 3 other refills that you can buy when you run out of deodorant. I've got to say my personal favourite is probably the orange one here. It's a beautiful, let me just take it out. It's a beautiful burnt orange colour, so it's not too kind of bright. There we go, look at that. Lovely kind of matte finish, and it's inspired by a pebble you might find on the beach, so it's got that kind of cues to nature already pre-designed into it, and then when you slice it in half you get this gloss finish against the mat, like as if you've kind of hit a pebble in half. And that is really, really important to us at Fussy, that we design sustainable products that not only work better than their non-sustainable counterparts, but are just more beautiful and desirable to use, because it's only by creating products that are easy, convenient and desirable that will really achieve mass adoption of sustainable products. So that's kind of thinking behind it. We really lean into design and effectiveness as our kind of core differentiators.
What I love about Toddle, I mean, Hannah presented incredibly well in the den, and I think if she'd presented many products, then I think she'd have had a lot of interest in the den anyway, because she presents very well, but the product has got to be good. What I love about Toddle is that it talks about a lifestyle. It engages children with a different language other than just saying I'm a hand sanitizer, or I'm a cream that lip salve, or a cream that stops chapped skin. It doesn't do that. It says, I'm here to enable you to do all that fun stuff that you want to do with your family, and I love that. It was a different take and a different language. And children they need to be engaged. They don't just want stuff slapped on them. They want to get excited and think, yeah, that means we're doing this, and that means I can do that. That's really why she won me over really quickly. Actually, she won a lot of dragons over really quickly. Luckily, she chose myself and Stephen.
I'm Hannah Saunders, CEO and founder of Toddle. So I was inspired to start Toddle because I spent 9 years in the RAF being very adventurous and outdoorsy, and I have a real passion for it. And then when I became a mother and had my children, I really wanted to share this adventure with them, so that's at the core of the brand. They've got really sensitive skin and they get chapped lips and windburnt cheeks, and I found there wasn't something in the market that worked for them. So I started making my own skincare in my kitchen, and that's how our vegan eco brand started. So my two favourite products are our Magic Mist, which is an alcohol-free sanitizer, which does kill the coronavirus family, but it's super gentle and you can put it on your hands, and then you don't need to wipe it off or anything. They've been disinfected and you're safe and good to go. Or you can use it on a high chair when you're out travelling, and so that's a really great one for school backpacks as well, because it comes with a carabiner and a case. It's also refillable, so it's a lifetime vessel, so you buy it once and that's it, you keep it forever. And then this is one of our most innovative products. We worked with Wrexham University for a year to make this product with the R&D. It's a probiotic hand gel which has lactobacillus in it, and so it's got good bacteria in it, so it's almost like Yakult for your hands, so you can rub it on your hands and it helps your immune system, so it's almost like an immunity glove by covering your hands in good bacteria.
The good news is I've already seen the successes of Toddle and Fussy. I mean, the trajectory has been absolutely huge, but it's not easy. It's never a smooth path. The world changes and you have to adapt to those changes. But I genuinely see that they are game changers. Fussy is going to change the way that we look at how we use our deodorants, at these disposable items that we've got in the bathroom. And actually Fussy is not just going to stay with deodorants. We're looking at every single bit of plastic in that bathroom. How do we get it out? And how do we produce, really good, sustainable product? So we change the face of that forever. And I think it's the same with Toddle. I mean, she's at the forefront of a different language, a different way of expressing how a product does well. All of the ethics sitting behind it, all of the sustainability, and that fun language, that active language that, I'm an enabler. I'm not just bad news, I'm really good news. So I genuinely think they're going to make quite a dent in their own particular markets.
The impact of Dragon's Den has been incredible. The support that Deborah has given us and Peter has been absolutely amazing. And I think what it really did is just catapult us ahead 18 months. So, what would have taken us, as I said, 18 months to get to in terms of growth, literally happened overnight. So it broke everything. And I was on the phone to suppliers at 7 a.m. the morning afterwards, desperately trying to get more stock. But, I think what it's really just shown is that there's real appetite in the market for these sustainable options, and I think that's just been amazing. Often when you're speaking to people, they think it's a niche product, but this shows it's on a peak time on TV to the mass market, and everyone went crazy for it. It just shows that this isn't a niche thing anymore, and that the consumers really want this. In fact, over 80% of consumers are saying they want to make more ethical choices. It's just how do we do that as brands? The responsibility is on us as brands, not on consumers. They shouldn't have to pay more or buy a product that doesn't work. It always comes back to the brand and how we can create a better product for them. So
the brand has gone from strength to strength since Dragon's Den. Being in front of 5 million people on the BBC and getting the investment off Deborah Meaden and Stephen Bartlett has allowed us to really scale and grow. So we're just about to launch into the USA. We're going into more retailers like Ethical Superstore. That's a really exciting thing for this quarter. And as we move into Christmas, which is our strongest quarter, we're also employing 2 new people. We're moving into new premises. So being on Dragon's Den has been an absolute game changer for us. And I don't know if we'd be here now without it. It's been phenomenal.
I think there's going to be a huge growth in the refillable market, and that it's going to be a little bit clunky because the consumer has to start changing behaviour, and that can take a little bit of time. But the truth of the matter is that there isn't really a fantastic alternative to plastic, particularly when you're talking about cosmetics or foodstuffs that have to remain stable and sometimes might be in quite wet environments. I know Fussy and Toddle are working really, really hard and trying to find plastic alternative. But actually, of course, the real joy would be buying one container for life and being able to actually refill it. So I think there's going to be a big growth area in that.